Welcome to Women Being Loved, a weekly podcast and upcoming book series to help you and other women 35 and beyond attract deep, passionate, lasting love while honoring your authentic self. I'm Tadra, your host. Hello, lovelies. Can you believe that we are 4 days from Christmas and less than 2 weeks from the new year? Oh my goodness, 2025. How did that happen? When did that happen? I imagine some of you here listening to me right now, you might be single and maybe you'd like to be in a fulfilling, beautiful, respectful, romantic relationship. And maybe you'd hoped that 2024 was your year. But as of yet, that hasn't panned out. And add to that the holidays. The holidays. That's when it feels particularly difficult to be alone. Am I right? I have been there and I remember the sad feeling and that longing for someone to share the season with. And also questioning, like, what's wrong? What am I doing wrong? Why am I still single? And maybe some of you even got family members who are like, why are you still single? And you're like, thank you. Thank you for that. Well, if you are feeling this way, I recommend, and this is not a sponsored post at all, I recommend you buy yourself Sara Eckel's book, It's Not You, 29 Reasons You're Single. Get it as a Christmas present for yourself. I recently read it and I was like, yes, absolutely. I want every single woman I know to read this book. It's pretty awesome. I will put her details in the show notes. Okay. We've talked just a teeny bit about like that feeling of being alone at the holidays, but let me just balance this for a minute. Okay. Stay with me. On the flip side, I also know what it's like to be in the wrong relationship when the holidays roll around. So my question to you is, are you right now in a relationship that you know down in your bones that you should leave, but you are staying for whatever reasons, financial, emotional, codependency, the children? Listen, I am not judging at all. I stayed in a relationship where I literally crawled into a ball for 7 of the 10 years that I was with this person. And I sobbed in the new year. I tell you no lie. I sobbed it in, like just on my bed, tears are flowing, like, what the hell? How am I still here? And I did the same thing every year. You know, the definition of insanity, right? I don't even need to say it. I would call this one friend, same person, every year and ask her through my tears if I could come crash for her in New York City, because New York was my heart home and I had lived there for many years in my 20s. And I just figured if I could get back to New York, I could like find myself, you know? And I asked her, can I come? Can I stay with you? And every year she'd say, yeah, we'll figure it out. You can sleep on my floor in the kitchen if you have to. We will figure it out. Because, you know, apartments in New York, they don't have spare bedrooms. There's no such thing. But, you know, she would say yes. And then by January 3rd, not even a week, I'd talked myself out of it because I was scared. I was scared of starting over. I was scared of losing my church family at the time, even though, you know, I wasn't getting what I needed, like nowhere near it. And people knew that, but they still wanted me to stay there. Like for some reason, they were invested in me staying in my misery. And I knew I'd be judged for getting a divorce. I knew I'd be judged for leaving. And quite frankly, I didn't think I had the strength for that. I later learned that I did, and I had it all along, but I had to come to that in my own timing. I bring all of that up because when you're single, going back to the original conversation here for a minute, when you're single for the holidays and you are staring down another new year with no prospects of love, it can feel really awful. But in my humble opinion, you are better off than being in a relationship that drains your soul. Try to remember that when you're looking at all the couples at the holiday parties. Let me tell you, I would go to parties, a Christmas party here and there, and I would go with my significant other and I would put on that happy face and my pretty black dress, but inside I was dying. I was dying. So what you see on the surface isn't always the truth of the situation. So you might be envying couples that it's just not what it looks like. If you're desiring to make 2025 the year that love finds you, approach it, how do I say this? Approach it in the way that I was taught to approach auditioning when I was an actress. I was, very briefly. That's a different story. But I was taught by my acting teacher, which was beautiful advice. Do everything that you can do and leave the rest to fate, destiny, the universe, God, whatever, whoever you believe in. As an actress auditioning, I could learn my lines. I could present myself as close to the character as possible. I could do my research on the director. I could even interview people whose lives are like the characters. And I could do all of that and I could be spectacular. I could walk in that room and I could kill it. But at the end of the day, I just couldn't force the casting director and the producer to hire me. Even though I had done everything in my power, they may end up hiring some famous person's kid. They may end up hiring their own kid. I can't control that part of it. So approach dating in the same way. So what does that look like? Okay, in the dating scenario, know what you want. Do everything that feels good to you to attract the type of person you desire. So that could be make the vision board, join the gym if losing those last 10 pounds will make you feel more confident. Or if you're hoping to meet somebody who cares about their fitness routine and all that stuff. And that's the kind of person you would like to be with. Hire a matchmaker. Join a dating app. Join a hiking club, a cooking club, a book club, anything and anywhere that'll put you around the types of people, the types of individuals that you would gel with. But know that you can't really force it to happen. You've got to surrender to the outcome, which is hard. I'm not going to lie. It's hard. I remember when people told me that, and, people that were like all paired up and cozy, they had their significant other. And honestly, I felt like cursing them out, like whatever. I was very much like, you got a partner, that person to keep you warm, cook you a meal when you're tired, someone to sex you, and it's cold and lonely over here where I am. I can feel the breeze blowing, but something, now that I have crossed that bridge, they were absolutely right. They were absolutely right. And I remember when I finally decided to leave that relationship I was talking about earlier, I said to myself, if I end up alone, so be it. That was not what I wanted by any stretch, but I knew I couldn't tell what the future held. I just couldn't. I had to just be open. And you know what? Love found me, and it found me quickly, girl, beautifully. And that was 16 years ago, and it is still good. So, can I just say something? Just 2 minutes. Just be yourself. When it comes to love, there are no definitives. In my book, all kinds of women who've been through all kinds of things are, every single one of them, in a very happy, committed relationship. And until you're dead, you have every opportunity to find true love too. And once you do, sis, okay, here's the gem. Once you do, all the frustration of the wait will melt away. And you'll feel like this person was worth the wait. And you will be very glad you did not settle. Glad someone else did not come along who was like, 60% of what I'm looking for, and steal the space that was meant for this person, him or her, to fill. If you're feeling sad today, I want you to know that love often happens when you least expect it. So maybe 2025 will be your year. I hope it is if you want it to be. And if it is, girl, I would love to hear from you. I would love you to tell me all about it. And if you're okay with it, I would love to share it here on the podcast because that would be encouraging to other women. Okay, for now, I am going to sign off until sometime in mid-January so I can spend the holidays with my husband and my friends here in the San Francisco Bay Area. We're going to throw a little Christmas party, which just makes my heart so happy. I love hosting holiday parties. And I'm going to work my tail off finishing my book, Love Will Find You. I love you. Be safe. Be blessed. Happy holidays.